Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra. With this is Improv, and today we have another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. I'll be your host once more. I have a very, very special guest with me today. One of my students, Axel. Axel, if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi there, I'm Axel, and I am a jokester, if you could call me a jokester. Personally, I enjoy video games, dogs. I am 13 as of now. My birthday is very soon. It will be on the 31st of January, which is this month. And depending on when you're watching this, I might be 12. Well, actually, no, that's impossible because I'm 13 right now.
You go back in time.
You can go back in time. But seriously, even depending on when you're watching this, I might be 15, maybe even 20, if it's in the far future, of course. But if I'm being brutally honest here again, I love all things animals, and I enjoy improv because, as well, why not? What's not to like about it? It's fun. I get to interact with people, which people are sorely lacking now because no one interacts with anyone else nowadays. Sigh.
What got you into doing improv and acting and things like that?
I used to go to a school called Cascade. Cascade was a good place. Some bad eggs, sure, but it was a nice place overall. I think it was the Monarch? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a Monarch. And I also got to be some sort of in a potato game. Yes. Okay. Yeah, hot potato, I believe. Except it wasn't really hot potato. See, it was an invisible potato. And the potato would be passed, and then that person would have to answer questions not as themselves. It was weird, but also fun. Mm-hmm. Anyways, what really got me into it was when I actually saw it for the first time. See, I had just rejoined Cascade, and we were seeing a theater, and they were there just doing their thing, and I immediately wanted to join up with them. I wanted to go on stage and be the extrovert like I am, and improvise.
Nice. So what is it about improv that makes you stay with it?
I'm an extrovert, and there was almost zero human contact in COVID times.
So you take the hybrid classes with us. So you're virtual with us, and then we have some in class.
Which I wasn't virtual because then I could actually interact better.
You actually do really, really well. That's something that I want to point out, that despite the fact that you're virtual with us, you still do really well in the class. So how does it feel kind of with that aspect in the improv games?
Well, I mean, it's a bit harder to really articulate it. Also, it's kind of harder to interact and see what they're doing because then I have to turn around and then I can get off screen, and then I have to adjust the camera like so.
Yeah, it tends to be a hassle, right? But I do want to say that you do very well in the class, despite the fact that you are virtual. You're able to accomplish a lot over the class time. And one thing I wanted to talk to you about is you are very good at building characters. So like the world of the character when we do scenes, that's something that you're very good at. So when you're building your character in an improv scene, what's your process?
My process is, it's kind of hard to explain. Okay. I envision the character as someone else and not a reflection of me in any way. Mm-hmm. I make the character be older than I am, and very much taller. Of course, I mean, an adult will be taller than a child like me in usual cases, but that's neither here nor there. So I am a very character-driven person. That's why I actually do D&D, because I love making characters and putting them into action and seeing how they'll do with other people.
Nice. Yeah. So let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons, right? You're a huge fan of D&D.
Of course.
So how does it feel to express a lot of your characters even while we do the improv exercises?
It feels like I'm someone else, honestly.
Yeah. And you have some really
Or at least I'm showing someone else.
right. Yeah,
For
you're
example, the character I think is my greatest creation is Dolph.
showing. Yeah, so why don't you talk about Droff? So talk about your character Droff because they have a really excellent backstory.
Screen share?
Well, do you want to screen share Droff? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I do. Is Dwarf. As you can see, he is a multi-class, and while that may seem a bit foolish, I find it to be a good idea because, well, if you just have a look at everything here, look at everything. I have a very powerful character, and it's just a level 8. Multi-classes are OP, if you will use the terminology right. It's not original player, it's overpowered for all you millennials out there.
So why don't you tell us about Droff's backstory?
Okay. When Droff was a child, a wee little hatchling, and his parents were jerks. They were just straight up jerks. They wouldn't help anyone. They just wanted to be jerky jerk faces. Mm-hmm. And these parents got killed by an assassin. Now, Droff was regularly, as any kid would be in the situation, happy because his parents were absolute jerks. So, what he did was the assassin took him in, took him under his wing. Haha, pun intended. Very intended. And learned a lot about the assassin arts and stabby stab. Anyways, so his grandparents, being the older parents of his evil parents, were kind of mad that Droff let this happen, so they sent Droff's brother after them. And Droff's brother eventually made it over to the assassin and Droff and killed the assassin. Now, by then, Droff had gotten older, and he was about in his 20s. At least for Aarakocra years. In human years, he'd be 15. Or was he? Anyways, he quickly defeated him and ran off with pretty bad wounds. Anyways, another Aarakocra found him, who would be eventually his wife. He got into an assassin school in Eberron and learned a lot there. Became a high-class assassin in Eberron, and then he got married to the chick who saved him. Now this is where the story gets a little rough. The chick who saved him gets killed by some random stranger in a cloak. Woman, no idea who she was, later revealed to be Tiamat. Goes on all sorts of wacky and wonderful adventures, including a toad side quest that he picked up and it peed all over. Oh, that was fun. So, he went to Eberron, defeated the Red King, came back to a different a different place, hung out with some nice people, including one that wasn't so nice, named Clockwork, and found Tiamat, realized the truth of the situation, killed Tiamat, got some wacky powers that were gifted to him by the god of all gods, and now he's a night gun. And after the Titan known as the Kraken. And that's where we leave off our story. Oh, and Us, he has a werewolf friend and a robot friend.
Yes.
Both are different characters of my own, and one I've used recently.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that the different characters that you have are kind of all connected to each other.
Yeah, every character I have are connected to each other one way or another.
Which I think is really cool because it's almost like you're able to continue a sort of storyline. Yeah. I think it's great. So when you're playing D&D, how do you feel?
Feel like I'm portraying someone else.
Yeah.
I'm telling the story of someone else who has done these things.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. And when did you start playing D&D? Because you started before the class, unlike Jaden.
I started around when I was 8, when my dad first showed me how to play. Hey, ever since then, I've been hooked. And honestly, when I played in the class, it was honestly, he had been out of it for a while, and I was a little rusty.
Yeah, but you still did very well. There were some moments when we had to like figure out rules and things like that going on, but in all honesty, the way that we play D&D is very improv heavy, very storyline heavy. So I think that it was great. It was a great way for you to kind of like jump back in and get the gears going again. I want you to tell me a monologue as
about tacos.
About your favorite taco.
Well, I'd say that's a bacon with cheese and beans and taco shell.
What, like hard or soft?
Hard
taco shell. I haven't heard anyone say bacon yet. You're the first one to say bacon. Good job. So bacon is delicious.
Bacon, oh bacon. Cheese with bacon. Beans all around, and a shell I eat. Because it's a taco. Who doesn't like a taco? I haven't had a taco in a while, but I will after I discuss this, and I will go out and get a taco with bacon, cheese, and this. Which are beans. And I like to monologue like a bat, but I'm not as batty. And I would like a taco if I had a taco in my hand.
Very good, Axel. Very good, Axel. That was awesome. Okay, so the next question I want to ask you is, if I did not know you and I saw you taking a stroll down the road, what can't I tell just by looking at you? Either personality wise or like fun.
Then I like D&D and I play video games.
Oh yeah, you do play a lot of video games. So let's talk about the idea of play. What does play mean to you?
Running around and touching each other while playing tag or hiding.
Yeah, like basic games, right?
It used to be not basic games where I had to keep track of universes and JLAs, but that's over now.
The idea of play, we've talked about that before, right? The presence, leaning in, letting go, acceptance, yes, and all that stuff. So how do you feel like that? How do you feel like improv plays into your everyday life?
Doesn't really, honestly. I mean, it plays into my video game life. I have to improvise when playing Far Cry games. Oh my god, Far Cry games are all about improvisation. Because low on ammo? Take some dynamite. You need this thing about to explode. Oh, then there's a bunch of people nearby. Hop in the trunk and stick it in the ocean. Maybe if it's about to explode, a lot of enemies nearby, but you have to get over there, drive it under them. Boom! It's all about improvisation and explosions.
Yes, of course. Mainly the explosion.
Yes, that's Far Cry. Do you play Far Cry? Because if you did, then that's how you would know it's about explosions. This is now an interrogation.
I have not played Far Cry yet, but I've been told to play Far Cry. So it is on the list of things that I've been suggested. Now, one of the final questions I want to ask you is if someone was interested in participating in improv or acting or the arts in general, what's some advice that you would give to someone who wants to start out?
You have to know how to be nice to people and communicate. Yeah. And also, you have to know how to sing at least a little bit. You can't be going like, you have to go on like, take on me, take on me, take me on, take on me, oh, be gone. Give me a second. In a day or two.
Nice. Nice, Axel. Well, Axel, I want to say a huge thank you for you coming on to the show. I really appreciate it.
Never play Ghost of Tsushima.
Never play Ghost of Tsushima. Is that your other advice?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. If you would like to take a class in improv or sketch writing, you could go to www.thisisimprov.com and sign up today. If you like histories, mysteries, and ghost stories, we have a podcast about Florida. Yeah, Florida, called This Is Legends of Yesterday, where we talk about all of that and more. If you want to see those legends, mysteries, and histories in person, we are doing our historical and ghost tours. They are currently walking tours, so you could go to www.thisistours.com again and sign up today. I hope that you have a wonderful, glorious, and beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Eat some tacos. Thank you again, Axel, for joining us. All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Buy trips to go to Florida.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
I know I'm doing it.
Oh, yeah.